welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, viewers. Now we are moving away from ways to edify yourself to ways that you can keep yourself safe, because we are in the Carnival season and there's a whole lot happening within our space. There's fets. If you're going down to Trinidad for Carnival, if you decide to stay here, you need to be able to be safe, especially for us women here in society. So if you want some ways or some practical tips about how to just be more aware of your surroundings and to make sure that you secure yourself as to in whatever activities that you are doing, well, we are being joined by an expert. This is Professor O. She has a wonderful name, the CEO of the ASMA Security Training Academy. So good morning and welcome to you, Professor O. How are you doing? Okay, so we just lost them there. So yes, excuse me. We are supposed to be talking about some safety tips for Carnival. Now we are going to be having Carnival here in Tobago. It's not going to be quite as grand as the national carnivals in Tobago have passed, but it's still happening. We had some resolution happening yesterday when it comes to the band leaders. We know that the band leaders were protesting at the tourism office when they had some issues with the budget, the prizes, the grants, and so on. And they were saying that, hey, let's just go back to the old budget that we had for 2023. It was, still satisfactory enough for them to work with. And there was a meeting in which the chairman met with the secretary of tourism and as well as the Tobago Festivals Commission, and they were able to come to some sort of agreements and negotiations that they were able to agree on. So, it looks like things are happening for Carnival. Now, getting back to our conversation on hand, and that is safety for Carnival. We are being joined now by Professor O. So good morning and welcome to you, Professor O.
Good morning. Are you all hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you loud and clear. How are you doing this morning?
I am excellent. Happy to be in the land of the living.
All right, great. So tell me a little bit about yourself and your Security Training Academy.
Okay, well, Oluyemi Mashama is the name. I've spent 21 years as a police officer, 3 other years in other areas of national security. I've been in safety and security training for over 40 years, actually. Let me see, I have a master's in national security and intel. I have a PhD. Just a few. I've been doing a lot of work in the safety environment, a lot of work with women. I do a program that is sponsored through the IOM, International Organization of Migration, where we focus on personal safety training for women and the integration between our Venezuelan counterparts who are in the country and our local women. Which is the tagline for that is safer, stronger together. So as I said, personal safety, self-defense, this is what I do. I do a lot of training for national security, all the areas, police, army, all those different areas, both locally and internationally also. I do a lot of work internationally as it relates to training, security, and safety.
Great. Now, what are some of the things that us women in particular need to be aware of as we are approaching Carnival?
So, I mean, as I always tell people, we could always hear the normal things, which is, keep your bag close to you, switch the side of the streets if people following you, do not lay down your drinks, don't rest on your drinks when you're taking, moving teams, all these different things we always hear over the years. But I like to say that personal safety and self-defense is an art. And so long as you follow these guidelines of the acronym ART, you cover all the other areas that we could normally see the safety tips about. Mm-hmm. So the first thing is your attitude. The attitude towards your personal safety. You must have a positive attitude. You must have an attitude of understanding that, listen, I want to be safe. Yes, I want to have fun. But we also have to understand the environment we're living in today and the way things are going. So your attitude towards personal safety has to be one of, hey, listen, we're going out, we're having fun, but we want to return home to our families, to our friends, to our spouses. So we're not just going out and having fun indiscriminately. So the first thing is attitude, and that covers your mental capacity. And under that, we have something called color codes. Color codes was developed to give you an idea of your surroundings when you are functioning every day, whether it's at home, whether it's in a vehicle, whether it's on the street. So the first color is white, and that's the color you don't want to ever find yourself in. That is where you are totally unaware of your surroundings. You don't have a clue what is going on, either because that's just how you function, or because you may have drank something and you're intoxicated or otherwise. So you don't ever want to be in white. The second color is yellow. Yellow is where we function in a space where we are aware of our surroundings. We know what is going on. We are observing, but we are not paranoid. Sometimes people mistake the two. They take paranoia for just being safe. No, because that, again, that deals with your psychological effects in a different way. You don't want to experience that where you're paranoid, because that could have the same effect as being intoxicated where you're in white. And when you're in white, that is having a victim mentality. So we want to be in yellow where we are aware of our surroundings. We understand that, okay, if we're leaving to go to the fete, or we're leaving to go to church camp, or we're leaving to go wherever we are going at this point in time, we want to understand that the car must have gas. We must understand our phone must have money on it. We must have access. Where we going? Is it an area where we could lose connectivity? You know, when we park our cars, wherever we park, will it look the same way when we return? If we reach in the day, and then if we reach when it's light, and then we return when it's dark, how will this environment look? So that is where yellow takes you. Yellow gives you that idea of being aware of your surrounding, putting everything in place before understanding who can I call, who is aware of where I am at this point in time. We have orange. Orange only functions well because you are in yellow. And because you're in yellow and now you understand the environment and you are aware of your environment, then you are able to identify possible threats in the environment. Or if something is going off with your friends, you must know your friend, you must know, hey, listen, today Susie looking like she started to get a little intoxicated. Let me move closer to Susie. Let me keep Susie closer to us. Hey, that guy, I realize that guy is kind of zooming in on her. That guy is moving close to her, he's talking to her. We are now able to zoom in and maybe provide a little extra support and protection, because they wouldn't want to really attack a group of women per se. Then we have red. Red is where the threat has become a reality. We were not able to avoid the threat, so now it comes a reality. What are we going to do? Are we going to raise an alarm? Are we going to try to fight back? Based on the scenario, are we going to try to get somebody else's attention? That is where red exists. And then we have black. Black is where you was in white, totally unaware of anything. And as we say, ever hear this signal, we say, oh, good, I just see black. That is where black exists. The threat is now happening. The action is happening. We had no plans. We wasn't prepared in no way. The phone dead. We don't have money on the phone. The car didn't have enough gas. The tire burst. We didn't know how we changing the tire in our environment where it's not safe. All these different things is where the color code takes us. The R deals with responsibility. And responsibility in that sense is the physical sense of you as the human being. So the attitude deals with the mental, responsibility deals with the physical. Is this a safe environment that I'm going to? Do I have everything in place to function and reach to this venue, to reach back home safely, to have fun in a safe space? That is my responsibility. I need to understand that I am responsible for my safety first. Then we are responsible in a collective as a group, and then we are responsible in the collective as a country. So if everybody takes the responsibility for their safety and do what is necessary, that is where the physical part comes in. And then we have the trust, the T. Trust is the spiritual part. That is the belief in a greater being, the belief in your creator, understanding the guidance, understanding that sometimes when something is not feeling right, to go with that sense. You know, we sometimes are in environments and we feel something off and we just say, hey, something not feeling right, or something tell me wasn't to go today. You hear people say, oh God, something tell me was to stay home today. We have Carnival coming up every year. You know, we have things happening every year. Maybe something is telling you, hey, this is not for you to do this time. Let's stay away from it. Let's not do it. Let's not go this way. This is not looking right. We reach the venue. The parking is like a mile away from where the venue is. It's dark. We have to walk. Is this really safe? You know, persons in the car park, sometimes you have persons there saying, hey, give me a 20 and I will watch your car for the night. And you being totally unaware, you pull out all the money you have. Sometimes you may be hiding it in different places. We know how the women do it. They may be hiding it. Now, guess what happens? You just have someone who now have seen where you're hiding the money. They now see how much money you have. They recognize how much of you all are fetting together, or how much of you all are partying together, or whatever the case is. They know that you have to walk back from where to come back to this space. And we know that most times when we park in spaces and we go back, most times after the event, there's nobody there. So be careful about how much jewelry we are wearing, what type of jewelry we are wearing. Some people tend to say, well, I will wear fake jewelry. But remember, the criminals not aware of if your jewelry is fake or not. All they are aware is what they are seeing at this point in time. So you have people say, well, I'm wearing the real thing, but you have on this big gold chain, this big earring, this big band, all these different things. It may not be real, but the criminal doesn't know that it isn't real. So are you even willing now to put yourself in a scenario where your life is at risk for something that wasn't even real in the first place? So there are little jewelry that we could wear that persons could know, hey, that really ain't looking too expensive, but it still fits the mold that looks good, and you could still enjoy yourself. We know your ladies like to look nice and whatever. We have to be careful about even our hairstyles as women. Are we putting on our hair in a position or a situation where somebody could actually grab us and pull us by our hair to control us in these fete? You might be jumping whatever in the event. You might be jumping in the band. Yes, we like to have nice hair and whatever. Next thing, this hair jump, it hits somebody in the face. This creates a scenario. So all these simple things that sometimes people don't take into consideration, and they may say, what craziness he talking? I like my nice 20-inch and my 18-inch, and what are you thinking? Nobody is saying no. But also be cognizant that this could be something that somebody could use to control you and put you at a disadvantage, your dress code.
Yes, and
If you end up in a...
what's
Yes, go
interesting
ahead.
about what you're saying is that a lot of the things that we need to be aware of is like, time and place for certain things.
Correct.
So nothing's
Correct.
wrong with the jewelry, nothing's wrong with certain hairstyles and that
Yes.
sort of thing. But you have to know your environment that you're going in
Correct.
and dress accordingly.
Yes, and that is where the color codes and that whole idea of the attitude and being responsible and trusting in the scenarios and what you are doing comes in. We're not saying that people don't want to have fun. I mean, I myself, I'm no longer a carnival guy. I'm going to be up in church camp having some fun, from that avenue. But I mean, back in the days, I would have been on the streets as a police officer, having to work and watch all the revelers and stuff like that. And sometimes you see simple things, and you may advise someone, hey, and they really don't want to hear you because you come like you're trying to kill my vibes here today. But we have to understand, how can we still enjoy what we want to enjoy, but do it safely, that we return home, because there's life after Carnival. So
Yes.
these things are important.
And then we've only got a couple minutes left, but can you give
Yes.
us also some tips in terms of just having ourselves physically ready in case something does happen, in case we are attacked?
Right. So what I will tell you, and this is what I could give in a quick time. So the body is broken down into three striking areas. We have primary, secondary, and high risk striking area. So let's just say, first to begin, I mean, physical fitness is important, and we don't understand that sometimes. Um, we have to be fit enough to fight sometimes if we have to be, and then we have to have the right mindset, which takes a while to train a person. But the body is broken down into three striking areas. So, primary striking areas are anywhere on the arms and the legs, excluding the elbows and the knees. These are areas, if you strike them, they will not cause any serious injury or damage to an individual. We have the secondary striking areas, which include areas like the elbows, the knees, the groin. Those are areas that if you strike them, you will get a response. You might cause a little more damage, but the person could still, it might not put the person in a situation where they are incapacitated. As we are on the groin, no longer is it sensible to kick a guy in his groin, especially criminals, because what we don't understand that has been happening, a lot of these criminals are now prepared that women will kick them in the groin, so they start wearing cups, or they start putting things to block the area, so that if you hit them there, it really would not have any effect on them in any way, because they know everybody going to try to strike them in the groin. So that is not making sense anymore. So what you want to do is go at the high risk striking areas. If you go at the high risk striking areas, even if the person is bigger, stronger, or whatever, you could still cause enough damage or enough effect to be able to move away from the environment, run away from the environment, or whatever the case. And the high risk striking areas are anywhere on the head, places like the soloplex, the area of the soloplex, places of the spine. Those are areas. So I always tell people one of the easiest places to go behind, and if we watch boxing, is to strike at the chin, areas like the nose, areas like the temple area, the ear area, the eyes. Those are areas that you want to immediately get control of. If you get control of the groin, for some strange reason they did not have it on, and you get control of the groin, it is an excellent control mechanism.
All
But you
right.
want to be able to do that.
Thank you so much, Professor O,
Yes.
for giving us these tips. And it's certainly some things that we need to think about. It's all about just,
Yes.
preparing yourself mentally
Correct.
and so on as we go out and enjoy ourselves. So the better prepared, the
Yes,
better
yes.
we can enjoy ourselves. So thank you so much, Professor O.
Thank you all for having me, and thanks to Trinidad and Tobago, and have a safe and happy carnival. Thanks.
All right, you too. All right, viewers, so that's how we're going to wrap the show this morning. I want to thank you so much for being on with us, and I hope you have a safe and wonderful day, and we will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.